Now personally, I love these more than donuts. You'll get that chocolate sauce on there. These are super crunchy. They are light. They are fluffy inside. Look at that. That is sensational. In there. Hi everyone, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today we're doing churros and a chocolate sauce. Oh, fabulous. Then, you know, they're like stick donuts and you just stick it in the chocolate sauce and oh. Now I first had this in Madrid about 25 years ago in a little place just around the corner from Retiro Park, and it set me off. I love these. Here we go. Water in a pan. So you always remember water in the pan. So you got water, sugar, salt, butter. Easy as that. Now you can dissolve the sugar and the salt. So if we put that in there, there's our sugar, a little bit of salt. We want some salt to ignite our taste buds. Now you can give this a little stir around until it dissolves, or you can put the heat on and dissolve it that way. You're gonna put the heat on anyway. So I'm gonna put a little heat under here. Help us melt that sugar. Now I'm using a whisk for the first bit, and then we're going to a wooden spoon. It's entirely up to you. Right, we've got the sugar and the salt melted. We're going in there with some butter. Now you can cube it all up to put it in, but it's going to melt anyway. And you are bringing this up to the boil. Okay, we're swapping out in there with all your flour. Now be careful because sometimes it can fizz. Stir it in. Flame low and bring all that in there. Okay, there's enough heat in here to actually finish the job, so turn off the flame. Just make sure all your flour is fully incorporated into your dough, and it's going to be like Play-Doh, but don't worry about it. That will do. So you can leave it in the same pan, but we need to cool it down. So I've got this big bowl here, and we're just going to dip that in there. Now we've got this lovely dough in here, but we need to cool it. So the easiest way to cool it is just bring it out. Open it up. See all the steam coming out of there? Open it up like that, and it will cool reasonably quickly. Okay, in here I have 2 eggs. 2 medium eggs, just give them a beating. Now some people do 1 egg at a time, but you know, we're going to use nearly all of this, if not all of it. So you know, you might as well beat it up now, and we just add a little bit. So we can add a good half of this first time out, and then we'll add a little bit, but we're not putting it in until this cools down. If we put that in there, we got scrambled eggs. So just let that cool down. By the way, that is absolutely perfect edible Play-Doh. You know, if you coloured it, and I don't mean you don't have to use food colour if you don't want to use food colour. You could use natural colour, and you could colour this into different colours, and you've got 100% food safe Play-Doh. There you go. Kids can play with it. Okay, when it's cooled down, it doesn't have to be completely cold, but when it's cooled down, we want to go in there with about half our egg mixture, and we're going to beat it in. We want to make a really nice soft dough with this egg. Mix it in, and I tell you, a hand mixer works really, really well with this. It fluffs it up. In fact, we're going to probably do that instead of mixing it all by hand. Now you can use, yeah, we're going to do that. Come on, we're going to do it the easy way. Oh, I'm lazy. Let me get a mixer. Okay, mixer out, blend. Just make the job easier, eh? In there with the rest of that egg. It's going to take it, not a problem. Let's give it a mix. That'll do. And then we're going to finish it off with our wooden spoon. That's just give us a head start without all the arm work. Okay, what you're looking at is a very thick dough, but pipeable. Now, if you think it's not going to be pipeable because it's too thick, don't be frightened about a little splash of water. And just beat it in. It will go in, just beat it in. We want a nice, thick, pipeable dough. So once you've worked it all around and you've had a little workout, you should have a dough like that which is very pliable, and that would be able to be squeezed out of a piping bag. That is perfect dough. That's what we were after. So we've got our dough. We need to cover it and let it chill. Now if you can put it in the fridge, fantastic. If you can store it overnight, the flavour really enhances. But you know, that's up to time whether you can do that or not. All I'm going to do is cover this, put it somewhere cool for half an hour, and we'll carry on. Oh, a little bit of cling wrap over there, and leave it to rest. Just about half an hour for me, but you know, like I say, overnight or 4 hours, more flavour. Okay, while we've got that cooling, we're just going to make up a quick chocolate sauce. That is corn flour. So all we're going to do with our corn flour is add a couple of tablespoons of water, and we're going to just bring it in. That is going to go in our sauce to thicken it, make it glossy and a little bit creamy actually when mixed with the milk. Okay, this is going to be a really quick chocolate sauce. I've got chocolate bits there, look, whatever you call them. I've got sugar and I've got milk. In it all goes. And the flame on really low. We're just going to bring that together, but I'm just going to go in there with a little bit of salt. Now it's nice and steady, gentle. We're just making a very basic chocolate sauce. We just want to stir in a little bit of our corn flour slurry or cornstarch, whatever you know it by. And we want to thicken this up into a nice, thick, creamy chocolate dip. And I think that's going to take all of that corn flour, cornstarch, so let's get it all in. Just heat it until it thickens. Swap that out. I don't really want a whisk. You know, I can't seem to feel with a whisk where you put something a little bit more sturdy in. You can feel it starting to thicken. That is sensational. Flame off, and that is going to be good enough to dip in. Look at that. Okay, we want to be putting our dough mix in our piping bag. Now if you don't have a piping bag, you can just get a regular plastic bag, fill it up, snip off the end and just squeeze it out. This, I've got one of these star tip things on here, look, and that's what we're going to use. So we're just going to put that in there like that. So there's our super dough. In it goes. That's easy enough. Right, we're going to show you a couple of ways to do this. I want to show you where you're going to get perfect churros, but you know, and then we're going to do the street way. And we want to be going in the pan with enough oil to actually fry our churros. And then what you do, you just line out on there, nice and straightforward, like that. Okay, you have these little churros all the same size. As easy as that. We've got a few little bubbles coming off our skewer. What you're looking at is a temperature of about 180. Right, this is one way, and this is not what I would do, but you take that whole thing and you just put that in there nice and gently, and what happens is this paper absorbs that oil, these churros loosen up, float off the top, you take the paper out. So you take that out, we don't use that again, but to me this is not such a good way because you have to go through an awful lot of paper. And then these things you're just going to turn over. Nothing too hard about this, we just want a little bit of colour all the way around. And when you've got your churros cooked to how you like them, out they come, and then in with some more. Now personally, I love these more than donuts. Oh, I really do. You know, the crispy, the light, the sweet, oh, they're delicious. There is some absolutely beautiful golden bubbling goodness right there. Okay, come on, let's get them out. You decide how you're going to serve it. For me, I've got a piece of this paper, and what I like to do is give it a screwing up. And that goes on there like that, and we're going on there with our churros. You'll get that chocolate sauce on there. These are super crunchy. They are light, they are fluffy inside. Look at that. That is sensational. In there. Oh man. That is off the charts. Off the charts. That is fantastic. Oh, come on. Oh. They are super crunchy. They are super light. They are fantastic. They're not overly sweet. Our chocolate sauce is a chocolate sauce, a little bit sweet, a little bit salty, and that makes it fantastic. These aren't going to last very long round here, so I'll better have another one just to make sure that they're okay. And if you like what we're doing, that's how to make churros and a chocolate sauce. Come on, share with your friends. In fact, share with your friends, make and enjoy. And if you do like what we're doing, a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell. And we're going to catch you in the next video. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.